Hi and welcome to this short video on how to change a wheel. There are some breakdowns that we can all cope with, and changing a wheel is one of them. It may be that you've got a puncture or you've had a burst tyre. This can happen just from simply hitting a curb. If you get a puncture or burst tyre on the move, try to get your car off the road to the safest level place possible before changing the wheel. You will need to hold the steering wheel more firmly to keep a straight course as you bring the car to a stop. Once you have stopped, switch on the hazard warning lights and deploy a warning triangle 45 meters back from your car if you are on a straight road, or further if you are near a bend or a hill. If you have one, put on a high visibility jacket. To change the wheel, you will need a high visibility jacket, a jack, a wheel brace, a warning triangle, some gloves and some chocks. I made this chock myself from a piece of wood cut to an angle, and it slips under the tyre to prevent the car from moving. Before you start, always chock the wheels if you are on a slope. Don't just rely on the handbrake. Raise the vehicle with all doors and the boot closed. Never position any part of your body under the vehicle while it's raised with the jack. Always work away from the wheel. Secure the jack with a non-slip base. Use a mat if you're on a slippery surface. And never start the engine while the car is raised. Finally, before we start, put the handbrake on, select neutral and switch off the engine. Make sure all passengers are out of the car, and then remove the toolkit and spare tyre from the boot. Place the spare and the toolkit near the wheel to be changed. Okay, so let's start. First of all, remove the wheel trim. They normally just pull off, and then we need to slacken the wheel nuts using the brace. The nuts will normally be very tight, so you may need to use some force with your foot to start the nuts releasing. You must do this before the car is raised, otherwise you will knock the car off of the jack. Only undo the nuts about 1 revolution at this stage. To use the jack, unclip the handle from the side and then rotate clockwise to open the jack and anti-clockwise to close the jack. Now we need to position the jack underneath the jacking point closest to the wheel being changed. The jacking point is normally indicated by a cutout or an arrow in the car's bodywork. Make sure the claw of the jack fits snugly underneath. The foot of the jack should be flat on the floor and directly beneath the jacking point. Now we may start to jack the wheel up, and we need to keep jacking until the wheel is clear of the ground. Now we can unscrew and remove all of the wheel nuts. You should be able to do this by hand. Now we can gently remove the wheel, and for the moment place it underneath the car as an added safety precaution. Now we can offer up the spare wheel. Make sure it is positioned centrally, and then line up the holes in the wheel with the holes for the wheel nuts. Then one at a time, just screw in very lightly the wheel nuts just to hold the wheel in position, and then tighten them as much as you can by hand. And then with the wheel brace, just give them about a half a turn at most. We don't want to put too much pressure on, otherwise again you could pull the car off of the jack. Now remove the other wheel and then lower the vehicle by undoing the jack. Remove the jack and put it to one side for the moment. Now we can hand tighten the nuts. The nuts should be tightened to the prescribed tightening torque, and to get this correct you will need a torque wrench. However, not many of us have a torque wrench, so for the moment use some extra force with your foot to make sure the nuts are on tight, and then have the torque checked at a tyre shop in due course. In any case, you should check the nuts again after about 25 miles of driving to make sure they are still on nice and tight. Now we can replace the wheel trim and make sure it clips in all the way around. Just give it a check to make sure it's on nice and solidly. Check the tyre pressure and adjust as necessary. Then stow away the other wheel pending getting it repaired. Put the toolkit away and then you can restart your journey. Well, that's changing a wheel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please follow me on Facebook and remember to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.